this time yesterday morning, 24 hours ago, this was all kicking off. It's not every day you see sights like this anywhere, really. Certainly not in London. 5 runaway Household Cavalry horses running loose for miles across the capital after being spooked by building work. A bunch of concrete fell off a crane, I think, and smashed into the pavement right behind them, and they threw their riders off, and then off they went. 4 people injured before the animals were eventually stopped.
Well, it's time we took our horses out of our police and military forces altogether. That's the question we're asking this morning. Former Met Police Chief Superintendent Parm Sandhu thinks horses are a necessary part of the force, but Jennifer White from animal charity PETA says there is no reason to put horses in these volatile situations. Morning to both of you.
Morning.
Let's come to you first of all then, Parm. So you think that, yes, we should continue to use them. There are good reasons why, actually, we have horses there and there are roles that they need to carry out.
There are 2 main reasons why police and military use horses, and those are operational reasons and also for ceremonials. The UK is known for its military, it's known for the horses, known for the police having horses, and also operationally, horses are such an effective resource. When you're at football, when you're at protests or disorder, the horses can go into areas where police officers would get hurt and they can't get easy access. You can't use cars instead of horses because there are some places where you just can't get vehicles. So operationally, they're a necessary resource.
What about ceremonially?
Ceremonially, they are known, you know, the UK is known for its ceremony. It's known for, you know, the funerals, the coronation. There's various issues across the country where horses are used, and tourists flock to the country for that.
A lot of our viewers are saying to us this morning that this was an incredibly rare event, virtually unprecedented, and it would be wrong to overreact to it. We've got to keep it in perspective. And they're kind of right, really. It was extremely rare. So the broader question is, are we mistreating horses by using them in this way in the streets of a major city?
Well, you know, unlike humans, horses don't choose to be in the military or the police force, and yet they are put into some really dangerous situations, often large, agitated groups of people. Just this week, we had a horse being hit with what looked like an umbrella at a protest in London. And last year, at the Royal Coronation, a military horse bolted into a barrier and someone ended up being injured. And these are just some of the recent cases. You know, there's too many for me to talk about in the short time we have that show that when horses are put in stressful situations, it can be dangerous to them and everyone around them.
Is it stressful in itself to train them not to bolt when in other circumstances they would be startled by something like a loud bang or a car backfiring or something like that? Because, you know, horses, in terms of their evolution, are programmed to flight when they feel threatened.
Well, you know, we have to remember that all horses, no matter how much training they have had, they are highly strung animals, and we know that they bolt when they are put in stressful situations. And when a powerful, large animal runs amok like this, as we saw yesterday, it is dangerous for them and it is dangerous for the wider public and
So is it counterintuitive? I'm just asking the question, is it counterintuitive of us to try and make horses behave in a way that they wouldn't normally behave?
Horses are trained. They are trained before they're used in public order situations. They're trained not to react to loud noises and to behave in a certain way, especially when there's disorder. And yes, there are going to be occasions where it goes wrong, but those occasions, they do not outweigh the good that police and military horses are used for, because they can diffuse situations. If you've got a crowd of unruly protesters or football-type people, and you've got horses coming towards them, they are not going to fight back. They are going to see those large horses coming towards them. It's going to stop that disorder there and then. And
I mean,
also,
I hate to interrupt, but some of the worst injuries that have happened to horses have been at football events where they have been faced with football hooligans. There was one horse who was spooked by the crowd, bolted, ended up on a metal pole and died from severe stomach injuries. And these are not isolated events. There's far too many of them for them to be considered that. This is a pattern of horses being put into situations where they are vulnerable to attacks and to injury.
OK, well, listen, we have to wind it up there, but let's take a look at our poll, because we asked you, is it time to stop using horses in the forces? 22% of you said yes, 78% said no. Thanks very much for getting involved. Thank you to both of you.
Pretty clear result.
As well.